Chapter 28:16. President Su. You're back. Nieling Xian smiled sweetly. Why are you here? I recorded an exclusive interview last night and coincidentally it happened to be near you. I heard from the people in the company that your mental state hasn't been very good recently. I guess you've been too busy and tired recently, so I made some bone soup for you. It has my mother's secret recipe in it. It's very delicious. But I already had supper, Suyu said bluntly. Oh, I see. You can put it in the fridge and heat it up when you want to eat it. It won't spoil. Okay then. Thank you. Suyu didn't give Nieling Xian too much face. After all, she was one of the most popular artists in the company. You're welcome. As an employee, it's my duty to care about President Su. You've been working hard for us. We feel bad that you haven't been resting well, so I came to see you on behalf of everyone. I really don't mean anything else. Nieling Xian knew her place and wouldn't confess too much to Suyu or make things difficult for Suyu. Okay, I got it. It's late. Let him drive you home. It's me again. And was sleepy and reluctant to walk Nieling Xian home when President Su asked him to take her home. It's okay. My nanny van is parked over there. I'll give you the soup when I see you. Remember to drink it. Suyu nodded mechanically. Then I'll go now. Take care, President Su. Okay. Suyu felt the atmosphere was weird. After Nieling Xian left, Suyu looked back at him. Why are you still standing there? Are you not going home? Are you going to spend the night at my place? Oh. I'm just checking if you have any tasks for me. After all, many female artists are knocking on your door in the middle of the night. Haha. You're asking for a beating, aren't you? Go back to sleep. Suyu couldn't help but laugh. This was a joke from a long time ago. At that time, Imperial Star wanted to create a new batch of stars. Many young girls from the Academy of Arts wanted to take shortcuts in order to become famous overnight. It was unknown where he had found out Suyu's address, but he had been waiting here without sleeping or resting. Some of them wore very revealing clothes, while others had hundreds of thousands in cash in their pockets. Some were even funnier, carrying 2 baskets of eggs. Was this the rhythm of giving gifts? There was another one who was the most ridiculous. He directly rushed out to block Suyu's car and was almost killed. Later, he was sent to the hospital in time to be diagnosed as a minor injury, but Suyu disqualified him from the competition. For the sake of their future, these young ladies were willing to risk everything. Suyu actually wanted to see what kind of girl Huamin was. What kind of girls were Huamin in her teens and Huamin in her early 20s? She was never the most dazzling in the crowd, but she always gave people a very complicated feeling, as if they had seen her before. Suyu even sometimes wondered if he and Huamin were husband and wife in his previous life, and then he let her down. So in this life she came to take revenge, so she tortured him to death? Thinking of this, Suyu sighed and put the bone soup in the fridge. Then he took out his phone and scrolled through his WeChat moments. He happened to see Huamin posting a picture. It was a bowl of beef ramen sprinkled with green coriander. Through the screen, Suyu could smell the fragrance. Then he impulsively left a comment below the post. Chapter 28:17. Putting poison in the middle of the night. Humian, I look down on you. Suyu pouted. God knew how much she wanted to eat that delicious bowl of beef ramen. She didn't expect Huamin to reply so quickly. There are many people who look down on me. Who do you think you are, Suyu? Fine, I can't win against you in an argument. Our Dr. Hua is so good at talking. Suyu smiled in relief. Why aren't you sleeping in the middle of the night? Did you come back from a night out? Huamin asked with a smile. Sis, it's not the middle of the night, it's the wee hours of the morning. How can I sleep? That spendthrift and just blackmailed me for a midnight snack. That's not a problem for you, okay? Lord Su doesn't lack money. I do. How can I not lack money? My family doesn't run a money-printing factory. Suyu retorted. I'm done talking, I want to eat my noodles, Go ahead, as a pregnant woman you should eat more. I hope the baby is fatter than Little Bean and Pudding when he's born. Suyu and Huamin chatted happily in the comments section. Huamin put down his phone and picked up his chopsticks to eat his noodles. Qin Chu walked over in a navy blue robe with a glass of warm water in his hand. Want a drink? No. Huamin pouted. You can only drink warm water right now, good girl, Qin Chu coaxed. Oh. Be good, bear with it. Bear with it, he's only 2 months old. There's still a long way to go before he's born. I don't care, I want a drink. There's a lot of preservatives in the drink. How about I make you juice? Mr. Qin thought hard. That's a good idea. Huamin smiled. What do you want to drink, apple or watermelon? Kiwis are good. Replenish more vitamin C, Huamin requested. My dear wife, in the future when we give birth to our second child, his nickname will be Yun, okay? What is it? Why, what a strange name. Huamin was stunned. Just as she was about to figure out why Mr. Qin would come up with such a strange name, Qin Chu continued, because you're a troublemaker. Holy shit. You're insulting me again? Huamin finally realized that Mr. Qin had insulted him to no end. Just the fact that she was a Virgo was enough for Mr. Qin to hate her for a long time. I'm just teasing you. Alright, be good and eat the noodles. I'll go and make the juice. Mr. Qin was completely under Huamin's command. Huamin woke up at 3 in the morning. He suddenly said that he was hungry and wanted to eat hot noodles. Qin Chu got dressed and went to the kitchen. He had just finished making the noodles when she said that she was thirsty and wanted to make the juice again. Pregnant women were really hard to please, but Qin Chu felt that anything for Huamin was a blessing. When she was pregnant, the two of them were forced to be apart for so long, which became one of Qin Chu's biggest regrets. Now that he was given a second chance as a father-to-be, he naturally cherished it. Looking at Qin Chu's busy back, Huamin felt a warmth in her heart. Mr. Qin was such a man of action. He would always show his good to you through his actions. How could she not be happy living with such a man for the rest of her life? When Huamin was 2 months pregnant, her morning sickness was much better and she had a good appetite. She often ate supper and snacks to allay her hunger. On the other hand, after Zhang Manlin returned to the staff dormitory, she was still anxious. Chapter 28:18. Aching wouldn't have come to her for no reason. He must have received orders from Hua Xiqian. Judging by Aching's attitude towards her, she knew that Hua Xiqian thought she had betrayed him. In reality, Zhang Manlin didn't betray him. Being kidnapped in the mountains was an accident. Otherwise, she would have asked Hua Xiqian to send the children to Qinghe town. At that time, as a wanted criminal, she had nowhere else to go. But in this way, he somehow became Qin Chu's hero. Not only did the twins change their attitude towards her, but she also successfully entered GK. This was a good thing and she should be happy. However, she felt uneasy. Just like today when Aching almost strangled her to death, Qin Chu's men arrived in time. It seemed like he cared about her, but was that really the case? She had been Hua Xiqian's chess piece for 5 years. She knew what he was capable of. If Hua Xiqian really thought she betrayed him on purpose, then she should be in danger right now. Therefore Zhang Manlin was faced with 2 choices. First, go back to Hua Xiqian, explain everything clearly, continue to be his spy and help him complete his big plan. Once Huamin was taken away by Hua Xiqian, she could have Qin Chu for herself. Second, go to Qin Chu and tell him everything. Ask for protection and draw a clear line between her and Hua Xiqian. However, neither Qin Chu nor Hua Xiqian was easy to deal with. For the first time in her life, Zhang Manlin was in a dilemma. 6 a.m. at the Hua mansion. Hua Xiqian came downstairs on time. He was wearing a pink shirt and black trousers that he hadn't worn in a long time. There was a hint of gloominess on his face. The leather watch on his wrist was a limited edition Patek Philippe, showing off the owner's noble and luxurious status. Boss, good morning. Aching stood across from Hua Xiqian. Aching, sit. Let's eat something together. Boss, I have something to report. No rush. Eat first. Hua Xiqian's expression was calm. Aching didn't dare to say anything. He sat across from Hua Xiqian and looked at the sumptuous breakfast on the table. He didn't dare to move. Here, try this. Is it good? Hua Xiqian pushed a bowl of sticky yellow porridge towards Aching. Aching picked up a small spoon and ate slowly. When I was very young, my biological parents sent me to the Hua family. My adoptive mother was a very hot-tempered woman. Because she never loved me, she poured all her hatred on me and tortured me as much as she could. I remember one time when I was locked up in a warehouse for 2 days and 2 nights and was starving. After she let me out, she ordered someone to give me a bowl of porridge. As I was so hungry, I wolfed down the porridge. After I swallowed it, I realized that the porridge was very hot. It was a special kind of rice called yellow rice, and its temperature was very high. Even if it was soaked in cold water, it looked warm on the surface, but when it was eaten, it was unbearably hot in the stomach. That time my esophagus was severely damaged and my adoptive mother just stood there and watched coldly as I rolled on the ground and screamed. Moreover, she derived great pleasure from my painful expression. Aching didn't understand why his boss suddenly said this. He suddenly felt that his boss was very pitiful when he was young. Therefore he gritted his teeth and said, "Boss, I'll kill your mother for you." No, that's not what I want to say. What I want to say is that I suffered so much but I didn't die. Came back to life. I knew that God wanted me to live for another reason. Until one day I saw my Huamin. When he spoke of Huamin, Hua Xiqian's lips curled up into the warmest smile. Even the people around him rarely saw such a warm smile on his face. Chapter 28:19. I know. Boss really likes Miss Hua. Aching nodded in agreement. It's not as simple as that. It's a kind of love that eats away at your heart and rots your bones. Do you believe it? Yes. I've always thought that if Mian was by my side, she wouldn't have suffered so much pain and suffering. Qin Chu is too soft-hearted and he can't bring himself to be cruel to those who hurt Mian. That's why I think he doesn't really love Mian. He's just trying to maintain his image as a good person. He is the same. He keeps saying that he loves Mian and that he wants her best, but he's always around her and never married her. To a certain extent, he's adding a lot of burden and guilt to Mian's heart. They don't really love her, they just love themselves more. Since they both want to be good people, then I'll naturally be the bad guy. Isn't that how it's played out in TV shows? If there's a positive, then there's a villain. I don't mind being that annoying villain. As long as I can win over Mian in the end, then everything I've done over the years will be worth it. Hua Xiqian rarely talked to his subordinates like this. However, thinking about it carefully, he didn't have any real friends over the years. If he didn't talk to his subordinates, who else would he talk to? Qin Chu had Gao Ran and Rick. Su Yu had Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Even Jing Zhixin and Ai Yang and the others had a few trustworthy friends. Hua Xiqian was the only one who didn't love the woman by his side, and he didn't pursue money and benefits. All these years his obsession was Huamin. However, he was really at his wits' end when it came to Huamin. After so many years he had used up all his methods. However, he still couldn't win her over to his side. Originally he thought that his scheme last time was flawless. Killing Song Yisher would not only get rid of that scheming bitch, but also shift the blame to Qin Chu, killing two birds with one stone. However, Su Yu appeared out of nowhere. He was a righteous man who ignored other people's opinions and took in the pregnant Huamin in Su Yu's house. Until the birth of the twins. Only Hua Xiqian himself knew how bitter it was that his many years of planning had ended up in someone else's hands. Whenever Huamin was in danger, he was more nervous than anyone else. The last time Ian came here, he met Huamin alone. Hua Xiqian was prepared to shed all pretense of cordiality with Huamin on the spot. He also wanted to ensure Huamin's safety. Unfortunately, his sister had always been dismissive of him. She didn't even look at him. Now Huamin was directly on Qin Chu's side. They were going to deal with him together. Boss, Miss Hua will understand in the future. She will understand your heart, Aching advised. My Mian already wants to kill me. I know that. Hua Xiqian smiled faintly. Miss Hua won't want to kill you. After all, you used to be family. I think she just wants to stand on her husband's side, that's why. But it's okay. I don't blame her. In this world, only she can get my forgiveness no matter how she hurts me. Aching was silent after hearing this. His eyes even looked a little confused. He had never liked someone so much, so he couldn't understand his boss's almost crazy state for a woman. Aching. Yes, boss? How are the wedding preparations going? Everything is ready, but Miss Yen doesn't seem to be in a good mood, Aching replied carefully. Chapter 28:20. Don't worry about her. She's just a pawn. Hua Xiqian didn't seem to care about any woman other than Huamin. Yes, but I'm worried. When Aching said this, he hesitated. Go on. Hua Xiqian finished his breakfast and wiped his mouth elegantly with a tissue. Boss, I'm worried that Jack will come out and cause trouble. That would be bad. You know how he is. Aching told Hua Xiqian about his split personality. It was taboo for him and no one would talk about it. Jack's brother? Ah no, he won't have a chance to come out. I recently increased the dosage. Hua Xiqian was full of confidence. Boss, didn't the doctor say that the dosage can't be increased anymore? I think you can go back and see Dr. Matthew, okay? We don't have much time left. I finally got an extra week from Ian because I don't want any accidents to happen at the wedding. But Aching seemed to have something he didn't want to say. No buts. This time we must succeed. Chinchu and I have to fight. If we win, I can get what I want. If we lose, the worst that can happen is death. When Huasiqian said this, his expression was very calm, as if life and death were no big deal to him. Boss, you won't lose. You will win. After all, this is the big plan we've been thinking about for years. Aching tried to boost his confidence. GK headquarters, Zhang Manlin appeared at the door of the president's office in a sexy suit. Bella just came out of the office after delivering the documents. She immediately looked at her with disgust. Good morning, Sister Bella. Why are you looking for the president? He's in a meeting, Bella said coldly. I know. I won't take up too much of his time. If there's anything, you can talk to me and Director Jing. Don't trouble President Qin. He's so busy every day and doesn't have time to worry about these small things. But there are some things that I want to talk to President Qin in private. Zhang Manlin provoked slightly. Zhang Manlin, you know very well how you got into the company. You must know how to be grateful and cherish your opportunities. Don't do anything that will bring shame to yourself. You're a woman in your 20s and you're not married yet. Don't let people criticize you behind your back. That's not good. I hope you can do good for your parents. Hee hee, big sister Bella. Isn't our company in charge of our employees' work? Since when did you teach us how to behave? Bella didn't know what to say. Besides, even if it's education, it's not up to you, Sister Bella. You're also an unmarried woman. You don't even know how to behave yourself. What right do you have to teach me? I respect you and I'm giving you face by calling you sister. But don't be so shameless. I, Zhang Manlin, am not that easy to bully. Zhang Manlin, how can you talk to me like that? I'm your boss. Bella was so angry that she couldn't breathe. She didn't expect Zhang Manlin to be so arrogant. Moreover, it was in front of President Qin's office. Superior? Yeah, I'm really sorry. I only have one boss, President Qin. Some people don't know what's good for them and flatter themselves. You're just the president's brother-in-law's girlfriend. You really think you're something? Then Zhang Manlin didn't wait for Bella's reply. She knocked on the door and walked into Qin Chu's office. Bella stood at the door with a sour expression. For the first time, she felt that Zhang Manlin wasn't easy to deal with because she was shameless. Chapter 28-21. President Qin. As soon as Zhang Manlin entered the room, she changed her expression completely. His angry glare and sarcastic words towards Bella were gone, replaced by a face full of smiles. What is it? Qin Chu lowered his head and didn't look at her. I have something to tell you. Go ahead. President Qin, can you listen to me carefully? What I'm about to say is really important. Zhang Manlin took the initiative to ask Qin Chu to pay attention to her because she was important. However, Qin Chu didn't give her face. Instead, he replied coldly, you can talk. I'll look at my documents. It won't be a problem. Hey, President Qin. Here's the thing. I've decided to tell you something about Huasiqian's 5-year plan. Huasiqian's 5-year plan? Qin Chu couldn't help but raise his head when he heard this. Yes. Huasiqian found me 5 years ago and asked me to imitate Huamin. Then I purposely appeared to get close to you and confuse you. All of this was just to pave the way for the 5-year plan. What's the 5-year plan? Qin Chu asked. It's embarrassing to talk about it because you know Huasiqian. He's very suspicious. Other than his confidant Aching, he doesn't trust anyone. So? Qin Chu raised his eyebrows. So, I don't know the details of the 5-year plan. I only know that he might use some method to deal with you and then kidnap Huamin. Because Huasiqian always said that he likes your wife Huamin very much, Zhang Manlin said. You sure know a lot? Qin Chu said coldly. Not a lot. I just know that he has a warehouse at Golden Harbor. There are a lot of weapons in there. Because he had a good relationship with customs, no one checked it. I've never been there and I don't know how many there are. One time I accidentally heard one of his subordinates mention it. But as far as I know, it should be heavy weapons. I don't know if there are explosives or something like that. So, President Qin, you have to be careful. I'm curious. Why are you suddenly telling me this? Qin Chu looked at Zhang Manlin and asked expressionlessly. I'm not afraid that you'll laugh at me. I'm at the end of the road. Although you arranged bodyguards to protect me, Huasiqian's people think that I'm a traitor. So I decided to tell you everything I know. I just hope that President Qin can send more people to protect me. I'm really afraid that Huasiqian will take revenge. He's always been very strict with traitors. I saved your daughter, so I hope that President Qin can protect me. After Zhang Manlin finished speaking, President Qin understood. This woman knew that she was in danger, so she told Qin Chu everything about Huasiqian. In exchange for Qin Chu's protection, she was obviously on Qin Chu's side. This was the true meaning of betrayal. Protect you? Sure. I've been sending people to protect you. Otherwise, you would have been strangled to death by Huasiqian's subordinates. I know. What I mean is, Huasiqian and Yan Ruoshi's wedding is fake. It's just a smokescreen. I think he'll make his move soon. So, President Qin, you have to think of a way to fight back. The sooner you get rid of him, the better. I don't need you to teach me what to do, Qin Chu said. Chapter 28-22. Seeing Qin Chu's displeasure, Zhang Manlin quickly explained. President Qin, I'm not trying to teach you what to do. I've been working for Huasiqian for the past few years and know a lot of inside information. I want to help you get rid of him as soon as possible. But the information you provide isn't very valuable. As far as I know, the warehouse at Golden Harbor was a diversion. The weapons are no longer there. I'm quite interested in the 5-year plan, but unfortunately you know too little, Qin Chu said slowly. Let me think. Oh right, I think you can do this. Huasiqian trusts Oching the most, so he must know more. Since he's a trusted aide, I might not be able to get anything out of him even if I capture him. But I know that Oching adopted a little girl from an orphanage. I don't know if she's an illegitimate daughter, but he really loves her. He visits her every month and even saved a fund for her. I don't think even Huasiqian knows about this. You can capture the child and threaten him. Then he'll tell you everything. As long as Oching agrees, you can deal with Huasiqian without a problem. I don't implicate the innocent, especially children. Qin Chu's eyes were cold. Zhang Manlin looked like she was in her early 20s. How could she be so evil as to ask Qin Chu to kidnap a child? It was humiliating for a woman like her to have a face similar to Hua Min's. But if we do this, we have a good chance of winning. Okay, you can go now. I know what you said. I'll get someone to investigate. Qin Chu wasn't happy about Zhang Manlin's loyalty. Instead, he was even more indifferent to her. When Zhang Manlin walked out of the office, she began to feel uneasy. She didn't know if she was doing the right thing. At night, while Zhang Manlin was sleeping in the staff dorm, she began to have nightmares. She dreamed that Huasiqian held a dagger and slashed at her face. Since I gave you this face, I have the right to take it back. Ah, Brother Qian, no, I beg you. I don't want to go back to how I was before. I want to be Hua Min. Be a Hua Min? Hee, how can a woman like you be qualified to be Hua Min? After he finished speaking, Huasiqian swung his saber down and blood splattered everywhere. Startled, Zhang Manlin woke up from her sleep. She reached out and touched her forehead. It was covered in sweat. She gasped for air. Usually there was a female employee who shared a room with her. Unfortunately, the female employee had gone back to her hometown recently, so she had taken annual leave. For some reason, Zhang Manlin thought it was scary to be alone in this empty room. She took out her phone and looked at the time. It was 1:30 in the morning. She pulled a tissue from the bedside table and wiped her face. Then she got out of bed and walked to the living room. Just as he was about to open the fridge, he heard a rustling sound from the window. Who is it? She turned around in horror. But no one answered her. Someone come. Where are the bodyguards? Where are the bodyguards? Zhang Manlin yelled as she opened the door. She even pressed the alarm. The piercing sound alerted the security guards in the dorm. A few security guards went upstairs to check and woke up all the other employees. Miss Zhang, no one came. You must have heard wrong, the security guard said. Impossible, there's definitely someone outside my window. But you live on the 18th floor. How could there be someone outside? Could it be a ghost? The security guard looked helpless. Some people must have done too many immoral things, that's why they're so scared, right? They say that if you don't do anything wrong, you won't be afraid of ghosts knocking on your door in the middle of the night. A few female colleagues whispered. Zhang Manlin clenched her teeth. Her face was pale. A black Honda business car was parked on the sidewalk outside the dorm. Boss, did you hear the conversation between this bitch and Qin Chu today? So, we should teach her a lesson? Aching couldn't wait any longer. Chapter 28-23. I used to think that this woman wasn't that stupid. Now I realize that she's just so, Huasiqian commented. I knew she wasn't reliable. Whenever she sees Qin Chu, she looks like she's crazy about him. How could she care about you? Aching said angrily. Looks like the girl I've raised for 5 years is just another good-for-nothing. Huasiqian smiled. There was a listening device in Qin Chu's office, so Huasiqian heard everything Zhang Manlin said about surrendering to Qin Chu. Aching also heard it clearly. He was so angry that he wanted to kill that bitch. The child that Aching adopted was the orphan of the couple that he killed while driving drunk a few years ago. She wasn't an illegitimate daughter. However, he was working for Huasiqian now and was a bit of a vagrant. He didn't have a stable place to live, so he kept the child in the orphanage. He visited her once a month. The child was still young and didn't know anything. However, Zhang Manlin accidentally found out about this secret. It became her way of sucking up to Qin Chu. It was disgusting. Aching didn't specifically tell Huasiqian about the child, but he didn't hide it from his boss either. Most importantly, Huasiqian didn't ask. Boss, I think, even if we can't kill her, we should teach her a lesson. You've raised her for 5 years, but she just turned around and told Qin Chu the location of our warehouse. Not only is she trying to suck up to him, but she also wants Qin Chu to kill us. This woman has no conscience. Yeah, 5 years is a long time. Even a dog wouldn't want to leave its owner, right? Huasiqian sighed. So please approve. Go do it quickly. But don't let her die. It'll be too comfortable if she dies too quickly. I don't want her to be that comfortable. Yes, boss. I'll do it. Aching rubbed his hands together when Huasiqian agreed. He could finally teach that bitch a lesson. Southside Sanatorium. Huamin was in a meeting the whole morning and felt dizzy. Ever since she was pregnant with her second child, she became tired easily. From time to time he would feel weak and dizzy. However, it was true that President Wu did not come here much. Huamin handled all the major and minor matters here. It was not easy to manage such a large hospital, and Huamin was a Virgo workaholic. He was very eager to excel. He had always wanted to live up to the headmaster's trust. He had always wanted to do better. Southside had been named the best sanatorium in the country for 3 consecutive years. As its reputation grew, the number of patients increased. Huamin and the others' workload also increased by a lot. Deputy Director, someone is looking for you. A young nurse ran over to report. It's in the consultation hall on the 1st floor. Alright, I'll go take a look. Huamian was wearing a white lab coat and holding a notebook for her ward rounds. Her youthful face was calm and composed as usual. No one would have thought that such a young woman was the deputy director of Southside Sanatorium. She was already famous in the medical field. Mrs. Su? Huamin's heart warmed when he saw Su Yu's mother. He had been busy with work recently. Most of the time, Su Yu would take the twins to the Su family for dinner. He and Qin Chu, on the other hand, went less and less often. Mian, I'm not interrupting your work, am I? Lady Su smiled gently. No, Mrs. Su. Come upstairs with me. Go. I haven't seen you in a while. I've missed you. Huamin did not hold any grudges. He took Lady Su's arm and walked upstairs. Did you guys see that? That lady is young Master Su's mother? She's also a beauty. A few young nurses whispered behind them. Chapter 28-24. Yeah, Lady Su is so gentle and magnanimous. No wonder she's a rich lady. She's not someone those nouveau riche wives can compare to. Young Master Su is so handsome because he takes after his mother. Anyway, I heard that Lady Su likes our vice director a lot. What a pity, if only the vice director was the daughter-in-law of the Su family. It's not a pity. The vice director's husband is even more handsome and talented. Vice principal has such a good life. She's a role model for us women. She comes from an ordinary family and didn't go to a famous school. Most importantly, she doesn't have a face that can cause the downfall of a country. But there are so many outstanding men who like her. They're all dead set on her. That's why a woman's inner qualities are very important. If she's just a pretty face, I'm afraid any man will get sick of her, right? Look at the hostesses in the nightclubs. All of them have thin legs, thin waists, perky faces and perky buttocks. Their figures are so beautiful and they speak in a coquettish voice. Aren't they still reduced to prostitutes? Yes, yes, yes. Look at the ancient times. Those who are especially beautiful are mostly famous prostitutes in the brothels. The real ladies of noble families and the lucky madams are all women who stay at home. They are extremely sophisticated and intelligent women. Our vice principal is very smart and low-key. If I were a man, I would like her too. The nurse was more interested in gossiping about Huamin's private affairs. In the lounge next to the conference room upstairs, Huamin personally poured a glass of water for Lady Su. Mrs. Su, drink some water. Don't be so polite. Myung, come sit down. Lady Su patted the empty seat next to her and smiled at Huamin. I haven't seen you in a while. The last time I had dinner at your house was when the children came back safely. But there were too many people at that time, so I wasn't in a hurry to chat with you. You're usually busy with work, so I could only come to the hospital to see you. I heard from Suyu that you went to Jing City a while ago. Yes, the old man isn't feeling very well over there. He was directly hospitalized by the capital city military hospital for observation. Your father Su and I were worried, so we both flew over to take a look. Is there something wrong with Lord Su's body? Are you all right? I'm fine. It's just that I'm old and my blood sugar and blood pressure are high. It's an old problem. Master Lord Su is really eager to excel. Actually, at this age he should have retired long ago. Huamin said. He wants to, but he can't stay idle. You is a disappointment. He's not married and doesn't have any children. Grandpa is bored when he comes back and can't stay. When it came to Suyu, Huamin's expression was a little unnatural. He was too embarrassed to say more. By the way, Mion, I heard from you that you're pregnant? Yes. How long has it been? Lady Su was delighted. It's only been 2 months. You can't tell. Huamin pursed his lips and smiled. Oh, then why are you still working so hard? You should be at home taking care of the baby. Why are you still working? It's okay. I'm not that delicate. Huh? There are a lot of things to do in the hospital. I'm not feeling uncomfortable yet. It's not like I'm going into labor. You're a smart girl. Oh, by the way, this is for you. It's top-grade bird's nest from Malaysia. You're having a hard time with your second child. You need to eat more. Lady Su placed the gift box in Huamin's hand. Thank you, Mrs. Su. Huamin's heart warmed. Mion, I want you to participate in a dating show. As soon as Lady Su spoke, Huamin almost choked. Chapter 28-25. Mion, you're surprised? Seeing Huamin's reaction, Lady Su asked with a smile. Ahem. Su. Dating show. Isn't this a bit too much? But I have no other choice. There are so many actresses under Imperial Star, but you doesn't even look at them. When he arranges blind dates, he finds excuses to eliminate them. You're so old. You're even younger than you and already a mother of 2. If I don't do anything and let him do as he pleases, his father and I won't be able to see our grandchildren until we're dead. Mrs. Su, about the dating show. Isn't it too much? It's okay. It's okay. I'm familiar with the leaders of the TV station, and we're going to do a celebrity dating show here. We'll invite 12 single men and women from various industries and divide them into 6 groups. Then we'll play games and go to summer camps. During the process, it's very easy to develop feelings for each other. It's much better than traditional blind dates. At least it's not stiff. Our Yu is a famous man, and I saw that the invited female guests are all highly educated returnees, female scientists, and even female soldiers. They're all very outstanding. Then we'll see you agree? That's why I came to you. You want me to persuade him, but he might not listen to me. Huamin always thought it was immoral to force Suyu to do something. I'm not asking you to persuade him. I just think you should mention it to him when you have time. See what he thinks and ask him. I don't think he'll agree to something like this. Huamin knew Suyu well. Would someone as arrogant as him participate in the most popular reality show? He didn't lack money or fame. He had his own company and was very busy. How would he have time to play games with the female guests? I'll give it a try. It's better than doing nothing. Hey, I'll mention it when I see him. Huamin couldn't refuse Lady Su's request. I knew you'd agree. Thank you, Mion. Mrs. Su, what's the show called? When will it start filming? I think it's called Being With You. The TV station said that they'll start filming once they finalize the final guest list. The filming locations will be local hot springs, resorts, camping in the mountains, and eating local delicacies. I'm very interested in it. I heard that one of the female guests is an Olympic gymnastics champion. Oh, that girl is very pretty, has a good figure and a cheerful personality. It'll be great if you can be in the same group as her. Ahem. Let's persuade Suyu first. Hua Mian thought Mrs. Su's idea was too imaginative. He actually thought so far ahead that he even made gymnasts out of it. Sweat dripping. Alright, then it's settled. Let me know if you have any news. I'll try my best, Mrs. Su. After Mian Hua 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 Mian Hua Mian's Mimian and Mian. It seemed like she had to take it slow in persuading Suyu to go on the dating show. Otherwise, once Suyu got angry, she would be scolded. 8 p.m. Zhang Manlin attended the business cocktail party with an invitation from her company. Zhang Manlin always thought that Qin Chu thought highly of her, so she wore an off-shoulder peacock blue evening gown to show off her sexiness. However, when she arrived, she realized that Qin Chu didn't come at all. Only a few company executives were there. During the dinner, she got up and went to the washroom. When she came out, she was washing her hands when someone suddenly covered her mouth and pulled her hair to the side. Chapter 28-26. Save me, save me. Zhang Manlin realized that no matter how much she screamed, she couldn't make a sound. Because his mouth was covered tightly by someone. Then she smelled a strange smell and her mind went blank. Her head tilted and she completely lost consciousness. She was woken up by a bucket of cold water. When she woke up again, she found that she was tied tightly to a round cement pillar. Around her was a pitch-black abandoned factory. Bitch, I finally caught you. Hearing this, Zhang Manlin raised her head and saw Ching sitting in front of her. Behind him stood 4 men. Seeing Ching, Zhang Manlin felt a buzz in her head. She knew that this man hated her to death. Big brother Ching, she said weakly. Shut the fuck up. Who's your fucking brother? Kimless. Traitor. I hate traitors the most in my life. Ching scolded with extreme disdain. Big brother Ching, there really is a misunderstanding. I'm not a traitor. Zhang Manlin was still arguing. Misunderstanding? Here, listen to this. Ching pressed a button on his phone and played a recording. When Zhang Manlin heard her own voice, she was immediately stunned. It was a private conversation between her and Qin Chu in his office. But why did Ching have this recording? Did Qin Chu give it to him? For a moment, Zhang Manlin's mind was in a mess. You probably didn't know that our boss had installed listening devices in Qin Chu's office and even in Qin Chu's home, right? So, the recording of your loyalty to Qin Chu, our boss heard it clearly. I also heard it, clearly. Big brother Ching, it's not like that. Listen to me. I actually said that on purpose. In order to gain Qin Chu's trust, I didn't betray brother Qian. I'm still on your side. Zhang Manlin's brain worked fast. At this time she was still finding excuses for herself. Unfortunately, Ching wasn't someone who would listen to her excuses so easily. In his heart he already hated her to the core. Do you think I'm an idiot? You still want to quibble at this time? Let me tell you, the boss is very disappointed in you. Brother Qian, where is he? I want to see him. I have something to say to him. Zhang Manlin was so scared that her face turned pale. She kept asking to see Hua Xiqian. Do you think the boss will still be willing to see you now? Why don't you take a look at yourself? Let me tell you, the boss said he's been raising a good-for-nothing for 5 years. I think you're an ungrateful wretch. You took the boss's money and did plastic surgery to look like Miss Hua. Unfortunately, you only look like her on the outside, but you're far inferior to Miss Hua on the inside. Now that you've become successful, you even betrayed the boss and tried to kill him. Bitch Zhang, who gave you the courage to do that, huh? After saying this, Ching got up and walked over, pinching Zhang Manlin's chin and scolding her. Brother Qing, I know I was wrong. Please let me go, okay? Give me a chance to change my ways. Seeing that Ching had exposed her, she started to give in and say nice things. Let you go? How's that possible? Do you know how hard it was for us to catch you? Now that you don't have Qin Chu's people to protect you, let's see who's going to save you. Big brother, let us have some fun. This bitch has a nice body. The big men behind him were eager to have a go and asked Ching for his opinion. Hearing this, Zhang Manlin was so scared that her face turned pale. Chapter 28-27. Big brother Qing, please, don't do it, Zhang Manlin begged. Have you never seen a woman before? How can you touch a scheming bitch like her? Aren't you afraid of getting sick? Aching turned around and scolded his men. They lowered their heads and didn't dare to make a sound. Boss told me to do as I see fit, but I'll spare your life. It's too comfortable to just kill you. Zhang Manlin looked at Aching in horror. She knew it was over. No one would come to save her. You guys, do it. Disfigure her face. No, don't touch my face. Zhang Manlin screamed hysterically. Her face, which resembled Huomion's, had once made her feel superior. She even thought that Qin Chu would fall in love with her. That wasn't your face to begin with. 5 years ago, boss paid for the best plastic surgeon to make you more beautiful. But what about you? How did you repay him? Big brother Qing, I'll never do it again. I swear. Don't treat me like that, okay? Zhang Manlin cried. What are you waiting for? Do it. Aching ordered. The men slowly walked toward Zhang Manlin with daggers in their hands. Don't do this to me. Zhang Manlin cried until she was out of breath. Then with a scream, a deep cut appeared on Zhang Manlin's cheek. Blood slowly flowed down her white cheeks. Then there was another cut and another and another and another. Zhang Manlin was in so much pain that she couldn't feel anything. She passed out completely. Big brother Qing, that's enough. After the men finished speaking, Aching turned around and looked at Zhang Manlin's bloody face. He sneered, this is what a bitch deserves. What should we do next? Leave her outside the GK Corporation as a warning to Qin Chu. Yes. Then a few big men carried the unconscious Zhang Manlin into a van with a license plate. Then they left her outside the GK Corporation and left. When the security guard on the night shift saw this, he immediately called the police and an ambulance. The next morning the news of Zhang Manlin's disfigurement spread throughout the company. However, Qin Chu did not visit him. He only sent his senior officials to visit him symbolically. Miss Zhang, what happened last night? Did you see the murderer's face clearly? We've already called the police. The police will deal with it. Zhang Manlin's face was wrapped in white cloth like a mummy's. Just as she was about to say it, she hesitated. Last night, she vaguely remembered Aching mentioning that if she dared to tell the police about it, he would punish her. In that case, all his family members in the countryside would be in danger. There was no doubt about Hua Xiqian's methods. He was definitely someone who would do anything. So Zhang Manlin changed her words. No, I didn't see his face clearly. I was knocked out. Then do you have any enemies recently? Behind the executive, a police officer was holding a notebook and preparing to take a statement. No, Zhang Manlin denied in a low voice. If that's the case, it's probably just some robbers who want to kill you for your money. You're a girl, so be careful when you walk around at night. The police officer asked a few more questions and left. Where's President Qin? Why didn't he come to see me? After the police left, Zhang Manlin looked at the executive and asked. Chapter 28. President Qin is very busy. He just attended the opening ceremony of the new building in the development zone. He asked me to come see you and tell you to take care of yourself. The company will pay for you. You guys can leave. I don't want to see you. Zhang Manlin was furious, but she couldn't do anything about it. Miss Zhang, get out. I told you to get out. Why aren't you leaving? Zhang Manlin exploded. You guys can leave first. It's normal for a patient to be emotionally unstable after experiencing something like this, the doctor comforted. You guys get out too. All of you get out. Zhang Manlin yelled at the doctor. We're your medical staff. No need. All of you get out. After everyone left, Zhang Manlin took out her phone and turned on the camera. She looked at her face. Then she screamed and smashed her phone into pieces. The news of Zhang Manlin's disfigurement spread like wildfire in the company. During lunch, Bella and Jixin sat across from each other. Karma sure comes fast. Yeah. That woman probably dug her own grave. She's so two-faced and probably has a lot of enemies. Jixin also hated Zhang Manlin. That's great. We don't have to worry about her hanging around President Qin. By the way, did you know? Assistant Yang is coming back soon. That's great news. Our company is back to normal. No, I have to tell my sister this good news. Then Jixin sent a voice message to Huamin. Sis, come out. Come out. What's up? What are you doing? Sis. In the hospital cafeteria. What a coincidence. We're eating too. Cut the crap. Sup. Tell me. Huamian knew that Xixin must have something to tell her since he was in such a hurry. Good news. Something happened to Zhang Manlin. About that I know. What? You know? Yeah. When the company security found her last night they called Qin Chu and I knew. Fino, why are you so quiet? What else can I do? Set off firecrackers to celebrate? Huamin replied with a smile while eating. No, I think, at the very least you should make a happy post on your WeChat moments or something. For example, say the most classic sentence. Good and evil will be repaid and karma will be reincarnated. Look up if you don't believe me. Who will the heavens spare? That's not my style, Huamin denied. Say that's right. My sister is so low-key. She wouldn't post something like that on her WeChat moments where she gloats over other people's misfortune. Moreover, if someone were to find out about it they would definitely talk about it. I was thinking too simply. But sister, this time it's really satisfying. Alright, eat your food. Huamin had expected Zhang Manlin to be in trouble. After they escaped from the kidnappers, the twins' attitude changed drastically and they strongly recommended Zhang Manlin to their parents. He even claimed that she was his savior and allowed her to enter the company. All of this had been a trap to begin with. It was a trap that Pudding set up for Zhang Manlin. Later, Pudding and Little Bean told him everything that had happened in the mountains. That woman, Zhang Manlin, was extremely heartless. In order to protect herself, she betrayed her children. Qin Chu wanted to get rid of her at that time, but Pudding said that she didn't need her daddy's help. She had a way to get rid of her. Thus, Zhang Manlin betrayed Huasiqian. Disfigurement was the lightest punishment. With Huasiqian's temper, Zhang Manlin would have a lot of bad luck in the future. Just then Siyu sent a WeChat message. Dr. Hua, I'm at South Side. Don't you have something to say to me? Is it convenient for me to come find you now? Thinking of Suyu, Huamin felt awkward. How was he going to tell him about the dating show? If he tried to persuade him to go on a dating show, would he scold him? Chapter 28-29. Sure. I'm at the cafeteria. Have you eaten yet? Do you want to eat? Sure. Wait for me. I'll be there soon. Not long after Suyu sent the message, he parked his car and went upstairs. Suyu's black Lamborghini was very ostentatious. Many nurses knew it was young Master Su's car just by looking at the license plate. Ever since Suyu fell in love with Huamin, Southside was almost flat because of him. Wow, young Master Su is here. He's so handsome in person. I don't know how lucky the actresses at Imperial Star are to see such a handsome boss every day. No need to ask. Young Master Su must be here to see our vice director. Yeah. I'm so jealous that the vice director can be good friends with young Master Su. The nurses on the first floor chatted with each other like crazy. Some of them even walked up to him and told him, Young Master Su, our vice director is at the cafeteria. I know. Suyu smiled and nodded. Then he continued walking. The cafeteria opened at 11 a.m. and lasted for 2 hours until 1 a.m. Many medical staff and hospital staff ate here. Sometimes, patients even bought their own prepaid cards to eat here. Huamin was usually the last one to arrive. There were fewer people at this time, so there was still room to sit and stand. Although there weren't many people, Suyu still caused a commotion when he walked in. Suyu liked to wear Versace casual clothes. He liked plain white, which was a clean color. White short-sleeved shirt, beige casual pants, Lamborghini keys in his hand, and a black 7P cell phone. He was the epitome of a rich and handsome man. This way. Huamin raised his hand and said to Suyu. Suyu walked over. What are you cooking today? There are more than 10 dishes. What do you want to eat? Huamin asked with a smile. Suyu glanced at Huamin's plate. Stir-fried pork with black fungus, yellow croaker with black bean sauce, stir-fried broccoli and roasted pork ribs. Not bad. I'll eat yours. After that, Suyu brought Huamin's plate over. Hey, I already ate that. Huamin was implying that she didn't think he was dirty. What are you afraid of? You don't have bird flu. Suyu glanced at Huamin and retorted. Right. You scoundrel, even talking back to me is so sonorous and forceful. Huamin smiled helplessly. He got up and swiped his card to buy another set of food. He also scooped a lot of rice because he knew that Suyu had a big appetite. How is it? Any improvements? Huamin asked. Delicious. Not bad, Suyu praised repeatedly. By the way, are you busy with the company recently? I'm busy. Didn't Little Bean and Pudding tell you? Our company signed a contract for a Qing Dynasty Palace drama. Other than the artists in our company, we also invited a few popular idols to join us. The production is huge and I've been working on it. Oh, I also invited Pudding and Little Bean to guest star in the drama. What can they guest star in? Huamin was shocked. They can play the little princess of a prince's mansion. I've never heard of a prince in the Qing dynasty having twins. Huamian had read a lot of books including the historical records. She vaguely remembered that there were very few records about twins. It doesn't matter. The audience doesn't care if there are twins or not. As long as the drama is good, it's fine. Then aren't you changing history? Huamian retorted. Chapter 28:30. So what? If it doesn't work, I won't use the Qing dynasty. I'll just use the background. You win. Anyway, I'll make sure the twins have a good time. Yesterday I took them to the audition and they looked really good. You don't know how cute they are with makeup on. Suyu seemed to be in a good mood and kept talking to Huamin about the company. Huamin thought that Suyu was so busy that he shouldn't talk about the dating show. But, thinking of Suyu's mother's advice, Huamin decided to give it a try. Hey, what do you think of the reality show? Reality show? It's not bad. Isn't it very popular now? Many artists don't even take on TV shows and movies. I heard that last year an A-list male star joined a reality show and his net worth was 48 million. It's easy to make money, Suyu commented as the boss of a film and television company and an insider. Then, have you ever thought of going on a reality show? Huamin continued to probe. Me. Suyu was slightly surprised. Haha, are you kidding? That's what artists do. Why should I, the boss of a company, join in the fun? I don't want fans or fame. No, I saw a parent-child show 2 years ago. The boss of a film and television company brought his son to the show. I think it's very meaningful. You can give it a try and give yourself more experience. Forget it. Why is a reality show called a reality show? It's just a show. It's not real. Don't take it seriously. Some TV stations force couples in order to make the show popular. Some deliberately create rumors about actors and actresses, and some even do it for kids. It's disgusting. These people will do anything for ratings and money. Plus, reality shows have scripts and must be designed according to the scripts. I don't know if you've seen a dating show before. They invited an A-list female star and a C-list male star to be a couple, but the response wasn't great. Not long after, the female star announced that she was married to another male star. That's the effect of the show's failure. I think it's quite boring. To be honest, I don't recommend my employees to participate in reality shows because their acting skills will deteriorate. Actors are actors because they want to act, not because they want to be a vase. What the audience wants is the feeling of being fully immersed in a TV show. They don't want to see you jump between scenes. Do you understand? You're right, President Su. I understand. Huamin. It was the first time he had seen Suyu give such a long speech in such a professional manner. His expression was adorable. Hey, it's an occupational hazard. I often say things like this in meetings. Don't take it to heart. No, I'm just giving you a suggestion. Why are you suddenly thinking about reality shows? And why are you asking so much? Don't tell me, you want Qin Chu to take the kids to a parent-child reality show? Suyu laughed. Of course not. With Mr. Qin's personality, do you think he'll agree? Huamin shook his head. Don't tell me you want me to take the twins to a parent-child reality show? No, don't think too much. Huamin couldn't stop laughing. Suyu's imagination was really wild. Then what did you want to talk to me about? Suyu finished eating and wiped his mouth with a napkin. I wanted to ask if you have a girlfriend, okay? Huamin smiled awkwardly. Chapter 28:31. No. Why? Are you going to introduce me to someone? No. Then why are you asking? I care about you. If you care about me, then divorce Qin Chu and marry me. Huamin. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I know. Hey. You really don't have anything else to talk to me about? Nothing else. Seeing Suyu's aversion to reality shows, Huamin didn't want to say anything else. He knew he'd be rejected anyway. Then I'll treat it as a free meal from Dr. Hua. Sure. You're always welcome. Huamin smiled. I'll leave you to it. I'll go now, okay? Oh right. I just remembered something. Siyu walked a few steps and suddenly remembered something, so he turned back around. What is it? In 3 days Hui Yanyan's mother, Xinjiani's case will be heard, right? Yes. Will you and Qin Chu be there? Siyu asked. No. I don't have time. I have an operation in 3 days. Plus, Qin Chu said I don't need to go. He won't go either. If that's the case, then Qin Chu must have made arrangements. I'm relieved. Otherwise, I would have helped you get rid of that scumbag. No need. Mr. Qin must have made arrangements. Hey. I trust Qin Chu. Siyu nodded and left with his car keys. It was just a simple meal. Huimin didn't say anything else. Zhang Manlin was admitted to the first hospital. Ever since she was admitted, no one came to see her except for people from the company. She didn't have many friends, so she felt especially lonely at this time. The twins showed up at the first hospital in the afternoon with their driver and bodyguards. Pudding told her to go directly, but Little Bean insisted on buying a bunch of chrysanthemums. There were white and yellow chrysanthemums. They were beautiful, but they looked a little scary. Outside Zhang Manlin's room, the twins didn't even knock before entering. Who is it? She turned around, her face covered in bandages. Oh my god, Auntie Zhang. What happened to you? You're wrapped up like a mummy. Little Bean ran over and exclaimed. What are you doing here? There were no outsiders here, so Zhang Manlin's tone was harsh. She didn't like the twins and had once wanted to kill them. Of course I'm here to see you. I heard something happened to you. What's wrong? Why is your face covered? Did someone beat you up? Little Bean tried not to laugh. You? Before Zhang Manlin could say anything, Pudding continued. Miss Zhang, now that I've seen your situation, I truly believe that good and evil will always be rewarded. What do you mean by that? Zhang Manlin sat up and yelled at the two kids. It's obvious. Don't pretend that you don't understand. There are no outsiders here. Back in the mountains you betrayed us to protect yourself. You know very well, don't you? I finally understand now. I was wondering why you were so kind to let me come to the company and even told your dad that I saved you. It was all a trap. Zhang Manlin finally realized what was going on. Oh my god, you just figured it out. You need money to fix your brain. Your IQ is worrying. Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. Pudding looked at Zhang Manlin calmly and said, good and evil are separated by a single thought. Miss Zhang, if you had saved us in Taoyuan village and sent us back to my dad, none of this would have happened. Unfortunately, you were always greedy and wanted to use us to get benefits. In the end, you ended up like this. So, it looks like Qin Chu knows that you and your daughter are just putting on an act, right? Zhang Manlin was furious when she found out the truth. Chapter 28:32. Actually, Miss Zhang, you should thank me. It was my idea that allowed you to live until now. If it were up to my daddy, you would have been a corpse by now. Zhang Manlin was speechless. Do you really think my daddy is interested in you? You're so shameless. Why don't you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you really think a fake product can imitate my mommy? Do you think you can imitate the things in my mommy's bones? My daddy and mommy have seen through your little scheme. To them, you're just a clown who doesn't know her own limits. I really pity you. Little Bean mocked. Your whole family dared to set me up. You'll all die a horrible death. Realizing that she had been set up, Zhang Manlin went completely crazy. I'm sorry. You're the one who's going to die a horrible death. Here, take your flowers. Then Little Bean placed all the chrysanthemums in her hands beside Zhang Manlin's bed and took out her phone to take pictures. Here, smile. Look here. Say eggplant. Little Bean took pictures with her phone. Zhang Manlin picked up a glass of water from the table and threw it at Little Bean's head. The bodyguard behind her reacted quickly and caught it with his bare hands. Good job. Throw it back, Little Bean ordered. The bodyguard didn't say anything and threw the glass back. Zhang Manlin's head exploded. Help! Help! Someone is trying to kill me. Zhang Manlin's screams immediately attracted the attention of many medical staff. What happened? The doctor asked. They want to kill me and set me up. Call the police and arrest them. Zhang Manlin yelled. The doctor and nurse turned around and saw a pair of adorable twins standing there, their eyes dazed and adorable. Uncle Doctor, we're here to visit Auntie Zhang. She seems to be traumatized and her brain isn't working well. I suggest that you transfer her to a mental hospital for treatment after her wounds heal. The results will be better. Little Bean blinked her big eyes and said innocently. Looks like she's really sick. What a pity. She was fine, but she dug her own grave. Pudding sighed. Don't listen to their nonsense. I'm telling you, these two brats are very smart. They're very scheming. Don't be fooled by these two brats. Zhang Manlin scolded fiercely. However, no one believed Zhang Manlin. Miss Zhang, we understand that your emotions are unstable right now, but you can't do anything to the child. You should rest first. Scram, all of you, scram. None of you are good people. The arrival of the twins sent Zhang Manlin into a frenzy. When they came out, Pudding was quite satisfied and had a smile on her face the entire time. Little Bean video chatted with Gao Buyin and gossiped. Did you see that? That's bitch Zhang. She's been trying to hurt me and my sister. He even tried to seduce my daddy. Look at her. Yeah, she's nothing compared to Auntie Huamin, Gao Buyin agreed. Ahem. Qin Mumu, can you not be so obvious when you're talking about love? Aren't you embarrassed to say this in front of me? Pudding glanced at her from the corner of her eyes. If you don't like it, you can video chat with Wei Yunchu, Little Bean retorted. Pudding, sis, this time we've completely offended bitch Zhang. Should we do something more aggressive? Otherwise, when she comes back to life, she'll definitely come after us again, Little Bean asked. Chapter 28:33. Don't worry. This time I won't let bitch Zhang come back to life, Pudding said confidently. Sis, are you going to kill someone? Is it illegal to kill someone? Little Bean pretended to be surprised. Idiot, what day and age are we living in? Who would still do something illegal? Our method of killing someone with a borrowed knife is pretty good. Although I don't know why that big bad Huasiqian didn't kill Zhang Manlin directly, I have a feeling that she won't live for long. Plus, living is torture. So, sis, you're saying that the last time we saw bitch Zhang was the last time? Little Bean asked with a smile. Yeah. Wow, perfect. I feel so much better now that the thorn in my side is gone. The twins walked out of the hospital with swagger. On the other hand, Hui Yanyan's mother's case was about to go to court. She was at her wit's end. After that day, Shin Mingxi didn't come back and they broke up. But this time she didn't know if it was out of spite or out of sincerity. Hui Yanyan was angry that Shin Mingxi didn't help her, so she refused to admit her mistake. She even blocked Shin Mingxi's WeChat and phone number. I thought you didn't want to come back to this house? Fine. Even if you want to come back, I won't let you. This isn't a kindergarten where you can come and go as you please. Tomorrow I'll change all the locks and throw your things out. Hui Yanyan said as she smashed Shin Mingxi's ashtray on the floor. Mommy, why isn't Uncle Shin back yet? I miss him so much, Tian Tian said as she pulled on her mother's arm. Don't think about it. He doesn't even care about us. Why do you miss him? Plus, he's not your biological father. Mommy will find you a richer man in the future. The more Hui Yanyan thought about it, the angrier she got. Everything she said was out of anger. I don't want to. I like Uncle Shin. Uncle Shin treats Tian Tian so well. He even buys delicious food and dolls for Tian Tian. You're still a child after all. You were bribed with just a little favor. Tian, let me tell you, your Uncle Shin won't come back. He doesn't want us anymore. He's willing to be a coward and ignore your grandmother. I don't want to live with such a man. Don't mention him in the future. After that, Hui Yanyan carried her daughter downstairs. She first drove her daughter to the kindergarten and then contacted Lawyer Wang's assistant. Then he made an appointment to meet Lawyer Wang again. Law firm. When Hui Yanyan went in, Lawyer Wang seemed to know that she would come back, so he had a lecherous smile on his face. How is it? Miss Hui, have you thought it through? Mr. Wang, I actually wanted to ask if I can pay you more. What kind of woman do you want? I can arrange it for you. Hui Yanyan wasn't an idiot. He thought of an idea. She would rather pay more than sleep with the old man. Oh, Miss Hui. To be honest, although I'm not a famous lawyer now, I don't lack money. As for women, I can have as many as I want. Most importantly, Miss Hui, your temperament really attracts me. So, I thought even if it's just once, I'm willing to do it. As he spoke, Lawyer Wang's hand slowly moved to Hui Yanyan's thigh. Then it moved up and down. It was extremely disgusting. Hui Yanyan wanted to resist, but she knew that if she gave up, she wouldn't have another chance. Then her mother wouldn't stand a chance either. So she closed her eyes, gritted her teeth, and decided to sacrifice this one time. Chapter 28:34. Seeing that Hui Yanyan wasn't resisting, the old pervert became even more brazen. He placed his other hand on Hui Yanyan's chest. Hui Yanyan's other hand wasn't idle either. Being touched by an old pervert, Hui Yanyan didn't like it. But at the thought of opening a way out for her mother, she forced herself to endure. Just as Mr. Wang leaned over and kissed Hui Yanyan's lips, the office door was flung open. "Hey, I told you can't go in. How can you do this? I'll call security," Mr. Wang's assistant yelled. Hui Yanyan and Mr. Wang turned around. A young man stood at the door and looked at Hui Yanyan with an extremely cold gaze. Mingxi. Hui Yanyan's mind went blank. Hee, someone told me that you sold your body to save your mother, but I didn't believe it. I said that no matter how muddle-headed Yanyan was, she wouldn't do something so immoral. Seems I overestimated you. Hui Yanyan, you're good. You're awesome. Shin Mingxi sneered. Hui Yanyan pushed away the old pervert on top of her and stood up to explain. Mingxi, it's not like that. I didn't want to. But you know I had no choice. That's right. For your mother you have no bottom line. You can do anything. You are very similar to your mother in this aspect. What do you mean? Hui Yanyan was furious. You know what I mean. I really regret being with you for so long, but I always thought you were a kind and virtuous girl. I didn't care when you got divorced, when you had kids, and when Wei Ying bullied you. I always believed that you were gentle and kind, but what about you? What you've done has disappointed me. Hui Yanyan, since you're such a scheming bitch, why are you still pretending to be a white lotus? I'm a white lotus? Hui Yanyan's lips twitched and sneered. Isn't that so? Although Wei Ying is arrogant, she's always made it obvious that she's domineering. You've always played the weak one, but in fact you're the one who knows everything. You approached me with ulterior motives, didn't you? He was right. You had ulterior motives for me from the very beginning. When your father was still alive, you probably wanted to marry me because you wanted to protect the shares that belonged to you and your mother. After that, you approached me because you wanted me to help you take revenge and deal with Hu Xiqian. Now if I don't help you, you want to sell your body to an old and ugly man. Hui Yanyan, you're really scary. I'm scary? Who forced me to be like this? It's all because of you. If you hadn't refused to help me, would I have done this? Shin Mingxi. If I'm a scheming bitch, then you're not a good person either. We're in the same boat. Are you with me purely out of love? Isn't it because you're overflowing with compassion? You pity us and think that you're Jesus, a savior, a philanthropist. You're the greatest and you're the only good person in the world, right? So, that's how you see me. Shin Mingxi's heart sank at this moment. How else should I see you? Hui Yanyan asked back. It seems I shouldn't have come today and interrupted your good time. I'm sorry. Let's continue. I hope you won't regret what you've done today. I wish you success in rescuing your mother. With that, Shin Mingxi turned around and walked away. Mingxi? Hui Yanyan called after him with a conflicted expression. Miss Hua, let's continue. I really like the black stockings you're wearing today. The old man hugged Hui Yanyan from behind and kissed her behind her ear. Chapter 28:35. Hui Yanyan wanted to curse back at the old man and push him away with all her might. But she didn't have the courage. She still needed to ask him to help her with the lawsuit. Thinking about her mother who was still in prison, Hui Yanyan gritted her teeth and acquiesced. That night, everyone who hadn't seen each other in a long time decided to meet at Chuxiang restaurant. Tang Chuan was a foodie and had sharp eyes. As soon as he heard that the new Hunan restaurant in the downtown area was delicious, he immediately booked a private room. Then at 8 o'clock, everyone was in place, including the children of each family. Qin Jie and Ni Yang didn't drink much, so they helped take care of the twins Wei Yunchu and Gao Buyan. In the main seat sat Qin Chu Huamin and Su Yu, followed by Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, Jiang Shaowei, Wei Liao, Tang Chuan and Qin Ning. Huamin originally wanted to invite Jixin and Bella, but he remembered that their relationship hadn't been made public yet and it would be embarrassing if they came. So he gave up on the idea. I was wondering why we're having dinner today. Xin Jiani's court date is tomorrow. I think it's better to celebrate after her verdict. Gao Ran laughed. Director Gao, when you mentioned Xin Jiani, I remembered a piece of gossip. Do you want to hear it? Give me 666 in the group if you want to hear it. Tang Chuan laughed. You're crazy about streaming. 666? You look like 888. Why don't you give me 250? Su Yu teased. Look at you, you don't understand? Streaming apps are everywhere and it's so popular. All the streamers will do anything to make money. Last night when I couldn't sleep, I saw a streamer digging up graves with a shovel in the middle of the night. That level of excitement was 5 stars. What? You secretly watched a streamer stream last night? Qin Ning grabbed Tang Chuan's ear. Tang Chuan hurriedly explained, "Oh my god, I only watch male streamers. Don't misunderstand. You don't know that I like to play games, so I occasionally watch game streamers and commentaries." Think about it, there are many female anchors who wear revealing clothes and act coquettishly. They keep saying that there's nothing wrong with brother and thank you brother. Then they earn more than 100,000 a month. What would the office workers who squeeze into public transport, subway trains and work overtime think? If everyone quits to become anchors, wouldn't society be in chaos? Although Su Yu had a cheerful personality, he was still relatively conservative when it came to certain matters. Therefore, when it came to criticizing the streamer, he seemed to be a little angry. "Lord Su, you don't understand. You have to keep up with the trends. Although you're the president of an entertainment company, your thinking is outdated," Tang Chuan said. "I'm outdated, I'm willing." Su Yu rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan. "Ha, I won't argue with you. My sister-in-law's words are authoritative." "Sister-in-law, what do you think of this?" Tang Chuan threw the question to Hua Min. You seem to have gone off topic. Why are you talking about the streamers? Didn't you say that Xinjiani's court hearing is tomorrow and that you have gossip for us?" Hua Min looked serious. "Pa, we were all fooled by Tang Chuan. He went off topic and went to the Arctic. If it weren't for Mion's quick wits, he would have talked about the interstellar." Jiang Xiaowei covered her mouth and laughed. "Yes, my sister-in-law is smart. Do you guys want to hear it? I really do know something big." Tang Chuan pretended to be mysterious. Chapter 28:36. "We don't need to ask you. You can't help but blurt it out yourself." Su Yu laughed. Just then the waiter knocked on the door and came in to serve the dishes. "Oh, the dishes are here. Let's chat while we eat. Little bean pudding, I ordered small portions for you. Am I good enough?" Tang Chuan stretched his neck and asked the twins who were playing happily on the other side of the table. "I mean, you're very loyal." Little Bean gave him a thumbs up. "Come on, call me uncle." Tang Chuan gestured with his finger. "I'll slap your face. You want to trick us into calling you uncle with just one meal? It seems like you haven't grown up yet," Little Bean said. "He's still a kid. Don't lower yourself to his level. Come on, let's continue playing." Pudding was like a little adult, playing Gamoku happily with Wei Yunchu. Tang Chuan was speechless. "Ha, are you stupid now?" Qin Ning couldn't stop laughing. "Do you think my 2 babies are that easy to fool?" Hu Min also laughed. "Are you sure you're not looking for death by comparing your IQ with theirs?" Zhu Lingling teased. "Hey, I admit defeat. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's continue the topic, okay? Guys, this is definitely big news. You'll be surprised after you hear it." Tang Chuan deliberately tried to sell the topic. "You ordered so many dishes. Young Master Tang, you're really generous today." Wei Liao chuckled as he looked at the dazzling array of dishes on the table. "Fuck, are you guys going to listen to me or not?" Tang Chuan looked helpless. Seeing that no one was cooperating with him, he glanced at Qin Chu. "Brother-in-law, come on. You're the most powerful one here. Give me some face and ask me." In the end, Tang Chuan had no choice but to look at Qin Chu, the king of silence. Qin Chu was reading the important reports sent by the company on his phone, but he wasn't idle either. He heard Tang Chuan's words clearly. "So, what is the big news that you know?" Qin Chu actually asked obediently. "Wow, my brother actually gave you face. That's not easy." Qin Ning patted Tang Chuan's shoulder. Tang Chuan was so excited that he clenched his fists and said, "Thank you, my brother-in-law." "Comrades, here's the thing. Isn't Xinjiani going to court soon?" "Well then." Gao Ran continued to ask. "Hui Yanyan has been looking for lawyers all this time. Most of the lawyers don't dare to take on this case because they don't want to offend us. Cut the crap and get to the point." Jiang Xiaowei smiled while adding more dishes. "Sister-in-law Xiaowei, don't worry, here's the main point. So Hui Yanyan made a deal with a lawyer in private. Not only did she have to pay him 1,000,000 yuan in legal fees, she also had to sleep with him, haha." "Are you serious? That shouldn't be possible, right? 1,000,000 is more or less the same. It shouldn't be enough to go to bed, right? Besides, would she dare? Would young Master Shen let her do that? Jiang Shaowei shook her head. Sister-in-law Shaowei, you don't know. You didn't see what happened that day. Lord Su probably didn't learn from you guys. Learn what? Jiang Shaowei's face was full of question marks. Hui Yanyan went to a nightclub in the middle of the night to find Shin Mingxi. Lord Su and I were both there that night. They had a falling out and said they broke up. And as far as I know, Shin Mingxi has been living in the Shin family's old mansion ever since that day. Shin Mingxi isn't an idiot. He would rather not be with Hui Yanyan than help Shin Jiani. After all, he can't afford to offend Lord Su and my brother-in-law, right? Really? Then Hui Yanyan is sacrificing a lot. But I'm more curious about which law firm is brave enough to take on this case? Zhu Lingling couldn't help but ask. Chapter 28:37. It's me. Huamin pursed his lips shyly. Then everyone's emojis exploded. Gao ran. Wow, that's the third one. They're way ahead in terms of numbers. Huamin, Wei Liao, if it's a boy they'll have both a son and a daughter. Jiang Shaowei, even if it's a girl they'll still benefit. They have good genes and are all beautiful. Qin Ning, then I'm going to be an aunt again. Oh, I'm so happy. Hey, my uncle and the others don't know yet, right? Huamin, yeah, I haven't told them yet. I don't want more people to know that I'm pregnant. Zhu Lingling, right. Especially Hua Xiqian, that big bad guy. Qinjia, Mian, why don't you apply for leave? You have a lot of work to do at the hospital. It's not good for the baby. And Yong, sis, you should quit. You're just a deputy director. Don't be a director. Huamin, I'm not that pretentious, okay? Plus, it took me years to get to the position of deputy director. It's not easy. Tang Chuan, sister-in-law, if you give birth to a son this time, you have to hold a party for his 1-month-old birthday. I'll extort a fortune from you two tycoons. Let's set it at 180,000 yuan per table. Huamin, wow, 188,000 yuan per table? Do you want to eat Tang Seng's meat? That expensive? Tang Chuan, Lord Su, you're going to be a godfather again. Are you excited? Siyu, yes I am. I'm very happy for her. Although he said he was happy, Siyu was still a little disappointed. Only he knew how he felt. Huamin, alright, stop making a fuss. When my baby is born I can blackmail these uncles and aunties again. Hurry up and prepare the gifts. He will come out to greet you in less than 8 months. Zhu Lingling, in that case it's already been 2 months. You're really something. You actually hid it for so long? Huamin, I didn't mean to hide it from you. It's just that too many things have happened recently, so I didn't have the time to tell you. Qin Chu, that's why I won't let her leave my side. Mr. Qin announced domineeringly. I won't leave even if you chase me away, okay? Huamin leaned his head against Qin Chu and acted like a spoiled child. In front of others, Huamin was always a wise man with a high IQ, but only in front of Qin Chu. She was shy, acted like a spoiled child, and acted cute. She was always like a child, being coaxed, flattered, and spoiled. Jiang Shaowei and Zhu Lingling were both very happy, but in private they still felt emotional. In this world, if there was a type of extreme spoiling, it would be Qin Chu who spoiled Huamin. He spoiled her to the point that even gods and men would hate him. It could be said that if Huamin one day became a villain or a terrorist, Qin Chu would never put justice before family. He would never even consider betraying the world with Huamin. It was a love that bordered on obsession. Rick once said that he felt that Qin Chu's love for Huamin was a little paranoid and even a little morbid. Even so, this type of love was something that could only be found by chance. There weren't many women in the world who could get it. Huamin was indeed a lucky woman. Tang Chuan, you guys are showing off your love again, Good thing I'm not single anymore. Come Ning Ning, give me a kiss. Qin Ning, kiss my ass. Tang Chuan, why kiss my sister? I don't even like hot chicks. I'll just kiss my wife. So, as the only single person here, Lord Su, what do you want to say right now? Wei Liao used his phone as a microphone and put it next to Su Yu's mouth. Chapter 28:38. Su Yu, young Master Wei, you're so cool. Did your family know that you went to the Heavenly Fragrance last weekend? Wei Liao, fuck, don't set me up. Lord Su, if I don't set you up, I'll set you up. Who told you to keep reminding me that I'm single? This time Lord Su was being arrogant. Everyone burst out laughing. Wei Liao, good job. No wonder you came home late. You went to the heavenly fragrance, Jiang Xiaowei said with a smile. That's right. Don't be fooled by Wei Liao's personality. He's actually very smart. Honey, let me explain. Wei Liao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I won't stop. Let me ask you, you got off work 5 minutes later than usual. How can you do this to me? 5 minutes. What can I do in 5 minutes? Wei Liao cried out. Don't you know what you can do in 5 minutes? Jiang Xiaowei glared at him. You're amazing, young Master Wei. You look so healthy, but it's only 5 minutes. Tang Chuan burst out laughing. Is this the highest level of insulting your own husband? Gao Ran laughed as well. Oh no, Lord Su provoked a war between the Wei couple with one sentence. Wei Yun, you come back, your parents are going to fight, Zhu Lingling yelled on purpose. Calm down, Auntie Lingling. This kind of thing doesn't happen in our family. At least, I haven't seen it in the past few years since I was born. My daddy never talks back to my mommy, Wei Yunchu said matter-of-factly. Oh, you're a henpecked husband. Tang Chuan laughed evilly. You're almost there too, don't laugh at me, okay? Wei Liao patted Tang Chuan's shoulder as if he had been there before. My Ning Ning isn't that fierce, she's gentle. Tang Chuan hugged Qin Ning's waist and continued to flaunt their love. Lord Su, you and Beauty Nye don't stand a chance? Jiang Xiaowei suddenly asked. I never did, okay? You guys wrote it in your hearts, didn't you? So you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Let's talk business. Hui Yanyan will bring that third-rate lawyer's defense tomorrow. Xinjiani's case might be delayed. Gao Ran's sudden appearance. There won't be a delay, I won't let her get away with it. Look Yu Yanyan is right, Hui Yanyan Hua. Here honey, open your mouth, I'll feed you pork trotters. Gao Ran picked up half of the pork trotters and handed it to her. Damn it, to save time you didn't peel the shrimp for me. Instead you fed me pork trotters. Zhu Lingling was speechless. They had a great time at the party. When they went back, the twins were tired and fell asleep in the back. Ever since Huamin got pregnant, she used an RV to pick her up and drop her off, except for work. Qin Chu would drive a sports car, a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce. But whenever he went out with Huamin, he would always switch to an RV because it was spacious and comfortable. Honey. Yeah. Starting tomorrow, you're not allowed to drive to work. What? Huamin looked surprised. I studied the route you take to work. It's not easy to drive on the road because there are too many potholes. Your sports car has a low chassis. I'm afraid it won't be stable and hurt our baby. You're not that delicate. Huamin didn't think much of it. So, do you want to resign or change your car? Qin Chu asked directly. Huamin once again felt Qin Chu's domineering aura. Chapter 2839. Don't resign. Huamin pursed her lips. Then we'll switch cars. But the RV is too big. I'm afraid I won't be able to find the right space and it'll be troublesome to reverse, Huamin argued. Who wants you to drive? What else? Huamin was shocked. The chauffeur will drive, my gosh. So, starting tomorrow I'll need a motorbike to drive me to work? Huamin was surprised. No, there will be 2 bodyguards inside, Qin Chu added. Huamin was speechless. So, do you want to consider quitting? No, definitely not. I'll just have a chauffeur. Wouldn't bodyguards be too flashy? Huamin felt awkward. Do you think it's more important to feel awkward or our baby in your belly? Qin Chu asked. You win. Mr. Qin's simple words convinced Huamin and he easily took back her sports car. It was a luxurious RV with a chauffeur and bodyguards. Wasn't this more powerful than the mayor? Honey, won't Huasiqing get suspicious? If he finds out I'm pregnant, I'm afraid. Don't be afraid of anything. I'll take care of everything. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand tightly. Huamin nodded, warmth rising in her heart. She believed that Qin Chu would know what to do as long as he said it. Honey, do we really not need to go to the hearing tomorrow? No need. Then have you made arrangements with Hui Yanyan's lawyer? Huamin thought. Arrangements? I guess so. Qin Chu's lips curled up coldly and he didn't say anything else. Huamin felt a little sleepy. She leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder and dozed off. Honey. Yeah. What should we name our second child? It won't be too late to wait until he's born. When the time comes we must hold a full moon party. Wait, we haven't even held a wedding. I'll make it up for you. I promise. Qin Chu reached out his hand and stroked the bangs on her forehead. I'll wait. I'll wait for that day. No matter how late it is, even if I'm 60 years old, I'll announce to the world that I'm married to you. Huamin was really sleepy. After saying that, he fell asleep. You don't have to wait until you're 60, Mian. After we take care of Hua Xiqian, we'll hold our wedding. I'll cover the entire city with red silk and tell everyone that I, Qin Chu, am lucky enough to marry you, Huamin. Qin Chu's voice was soft because he didn't want to wake her up. Unfortunately, Huamin was in a deep sleep and couldn't hear him. Daddy, it's not good for you to confess to Mommy when she's asleep. Pudding woke up at some point and leaned over from the back seat. It's not good to eavesdrop on Daddy. I didn't eavesdrop. I just listened. Daddy, you didn't accompany Mommy when she was pregnant with us last time. This time you must protect her, Pudding said. Of course. Qin Chu nodded and tightened his arms around Huamin. The truth is, Mommy's life isn't easy. Everyone thinks she's smart and fearless in the face of danger. In fact, she's just a weak woman. She's not that strong, of course. In my eyes, your Mommy will always be a little girl just like when I first met her. Qin Chu smiled warmly. No wonder the books say that the best love is when you spoil her like a child and she worships you like a hero. Pudding tilted her head and sighed. Late at night, in the first hospital's plastic surgery department ward, Zhang Manlin suddenly woke up from her sleep. At this moment, she saw a dark shadow standing by the door. Chapter 2840. Who's there? Who's there? Zhang Manlin panicked. No one spoke, but the black figure was getting closer and closer. Help. Before she could say the word help, the black figure was in front of her. Then he covered her mouth with his hand. Under the moonlight, Zhang Manlin slowly looked up. Then her pupils dilated and dilated. The man in front of her had a devilish smile on his face. He was wearing a black leather jacket and his hairstyle was different from usual. It was the first time she had seen such an unruly appearance, so she was shocked. Big Brother Qian. Zhang Manlin almost couldn't hear her own voice because it was trembling so much. Big Brother Qian. It seems like you think I'm that lovesick fool. The man's voice was a little hoarse and was indeed different from usual. Big Brother Qian. I know I've done you wrong. Please don't kill me. I don't want to die. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. I've received the punishment I deserved. When I get out of the hospital, I'll go back to my hometown in the mountain village. I won't come back. Please don't kill me. The person Zhang Manlin was most afraid of was Hua Xiqian. In fact, she didn't want to betray him in the first place. It was all because the twins and Qin Chu played a big game of chess and set Zhang Manlin up. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to do this even if she had 10 more guts. Because in the past 5 years she knew what kind of person Hua Xiqian was. Especially when he smiled, it was frightening and made people's scalps tingle. I told you I'm not him. He's been really kind lately. He didn't even protect a traitor like you. Is it just disfigurement? Hua Xiqian, no. Hua Xiqian's second personality, Jack, grabbed Zhang Manlin's chin tightly. Then he stared at the bandaged face. Big Brother Qian, no. Zhang Manlin was scared out of her wits. She didn't even have time to think if the person in front of her was Hua Xiqian or his second personality. She only felt that if Hua Xiqian's true body appeared here, then she would definitely be dead. Since he can't bear to do it, then I'll do it for him. After all, he's responsible for the murder. That son of a bitch, how dare he take so many drugs to force me out? Jack's eyes were filled with hatred. Because Hua Xiqian had been using a lot of drugs to suppress the cranial nerves, Jack's personality had not appeared for a long time. It was rare for Hua Xiqian to stay up late and forget to take his medicine, so he took advantage of the situation. The first thing he wanted to do after coming out was to create some trouble. If I kill you before swaggering out of the hospital, the cameras will capture everything. Let's see how he deals with it then. But I believe he won't be willing to go to jail. With that, Jack covered Zhang Manlin's mouth with one hand and gripped her neck with the other. Zhang Manlin felt like she couldn't breathe. Big Brother. She struggled to say something, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't make a sound. It was the first time she felt so close to death. Hua Xiqian used 100% of his strength. Zhang Manlin knew that he wanted to kill her. Just then, footsteps came from outside the ward. Then there was a knock on the door. Jack frowned slightly. Chapter 2841. Miss Zhang, are you asleep? Zhang Manlin's mouth was covered so she couldn't speak. She shook her head anxiously. Okay, you're lucky today. I'll come back for you. Then Jack sneered, opened the window and jumped out of the 6th floor with the help of the steel wire. He was as light as a swallow. Help? Zhang Manlin finally reacted and screamed after Jack left. The person outside the door heard her and immediately rushed in. It was Zhang Shubao, the security guard, the first man who slept with Zhang Manlin. Ever since he found out that Zhang Manlin was hospitalized, he wanted to visit her, but he had been on duty recently. He finally got off work early today, but it was already midnight. He couldn't sleep, so he thought about it and bought some fruits to visit her. If Zhang Manlin was asleep, he would put the things down and leave, but he didn't expect that he would coincidentally save Zhang Manlin's life. Miss Zhang, what's wrong? Zhang Shubao came in and hugged the scared Zhang Manlin. Call the police, someone wants to kill me. Who wants to kill you? Tell me slowly. Huasiqian wants to kill me. Call the police, call the police. Zhang Manlin grabbed Zhang Shubao's collar and shook him like a crazy person, begging him to call the police. Okay, calm down, I'll call the police for you. Zhang Shubao didn't dare to ask more, so he immediately took out his phone and called 110 for Zhang Manlin. The police were very efficient, and in less than 10 minutes, 2 police officers who were on the night shift at the nearest police station arrived. Who called the police just now? The police asked. I called the police. Zhang Manlin was covered with a hospital blanket, her hair was messy and the gauze on her face was still there. Why did you call the police? The police officer held a pen and notebook ready to take down her statement. Officer, someone wants to kill me, hurry up and arrest him, he almost strangled me. Zhang Manlin said agitatedly. Calm down, tell us your name, age, home address and work unit. Tell us your information first. Miss Zhang, don't be anxious. Take your time to tell the police. Yes, officer, I also want to call the police. This man raped me, in the cellar he raped me 3 times. Zhang Manlin pointed at Zhang Shubao and said. Zhang Shubao didn't expect Zhang Manlin to bite back at him, so he was speechless. The 2 policemen looked at each other. What's your relationship? So late. Why are you here? The policeman looked at Zhang Shubao and asked. We're friends. We both work at GK. Miss Zhang was recently hospitalized, so I came to visit her after my night shift. I don't know you. You lied. You raped me. You're not a good person. You're a bastard. After speaking, Zhang Manlin grabbed a policeman's arm and said excitedly, Police, someone just snuck into my room and tried to kill me. Don't be hasty. Speak slowly. Who wants to kill you? Huasiqian. It's definitely Huasiqian. Huasiqian? Which Huasiqian? The policeman was slightly surprised. He's that famous big shot. Don't you know Huasiqian? Zhang Manlin asked. Don't tell me it's the boss of the Hu Corporation? One of the policemen asked. Isn't President Hu Mayor Yan's son-in-law? They're about to get married. The wedding is in a few days. Are you kidding me? The other policeman stared at Zhang Manlin in disbelief, thinking she was crazy. Chapter 2842. Officer, I'm not lying to you. It's him, but why would he want to kill you? The officer looked at Zhang Manlin in confusion. Because Zhang Manlin realized that she couldn't say it directly. She couldn't say that he wanted to kill her because she was a traitor. So she said, maybe it's because I accidentally found out some of his secrets. Miss Zhang, are you sure it's Huasiqian, the president of the Hu Corporation? He doesn't have the same name, right? Yes, it's him. I'm sure. Do you have any proof? The officer asked. I saw him with my own eyes. He almost strangled me to death. Why are you asking me for proof? Zhang Manlin was furious. The problem is, what if you're making false accusations? We can't arrest him just because you said so. The officer felt wronged. Go check the hospital's surveillance. If he came in through the door, the hallway's surveillance must have caught it. It can't be wrong. Zhang Manlin remembered that when Huasiqian strangled her, he was mumbling something about how he was going to get away if the video caught him. Li, go check the surveillance, one of the officers said to the other. Okay. 15 minutes later, the officer came back. How is it? Did you see it? No, the hospital's surveillance broke during maintenance today. The entire hospital can't use it. There's no way to check it. He must have asked someone to do it. I'm telling you, Hu Xichin is very powerful. Yan Ruoshi is the mayor's daughter. So he can do whatever he wants in this city. You have to believe me, officer. Miss Zhang, we still have the same question. You have no proof. How can we believe you? You can ask our president, Mr. Qin Chu. He knows a lot about Hu Xichin. If those things are exposed, Hu Xichin will be executed. You can call Mr. Qin. Call President Qin? It's already so late, isn't it not good? One of the policemen was a little embarrassed. That's right. I heard that CO Qin is a good friend of our Municipal Public Security Bureau's Commissioner Gao. If we disturb him in the middle of the night, won't we be put on hold? The other one was also scared. No, President Qin is the boss of our group. He will definitely stand up for our employees. Zhang Manlin didn't give up. Miss Zhang, how about this? It's already very late. You should rest early. We'll come back tomorrow to record your statement, okay? No, if you dare to leave, I'll call the media and say that you police officers don't do your jobs. You take our taxpayers' money but refuse to do anything for us and protect the rich. I'll expose you black-hearted police officers. Zhang Manlin was crazy. She would bite anyone she saw. Does your friend have a history of mental illness? The police officer ignored Zhang Manlin and asked the security guard, Zhang Shubao. I'm not sure either. I haven't known her for long and we're both new employees of GK. Zhang Shubao didn't dare to answer. I'm not mentally ill. Every word I said is true. It's really Hu Xichin. Hurry up and arrest him. What should we do? The two policemen were in a dilemma. How about we call our director and ask him to contact Commissioner Gao? He can ask President Qin in a roundabout way. After all, she's an employee of his company, right? One of them suggested. Chapter 28:43. Then, that's the only way. The two officers were afraid that the woman would continue to make trouble with the media. If she tarnished the reputation of the police station, she would definitely be punished. So one of the officers comforted Zhang Manlin in the ward while the other went out to call the director to report the incident. In the end, the director of the police station came out and called Gao Ran in a humble voice. Gao Ran risked his life to call Qin Chu again. Finally, there was a response. Half an hour later, the officer returned to the ward. Li, what did they say? The officer glanced at Zhang Manlin and said, President Qin said that these two people were employees of his company and didn't do it. However, he didn't know what the woman said about the inside story of Hu Xichin. President Qin isn't familiar with Hu Xichin, so he didn't understand what Ms. Zhang said. What? How is that possible? Qin Chu, he said that? Zhang Manlin was dumbfounded. Oh right, President Qin also said. What else did he say? The other officer asked. Po Qin said that this young lady and this security guard might be in a relationship. They're not a couple at all. Also, according to the company's response, Miss Zhang has some emotional problems. He suggested that we send her to a mental health center for testing. Qin Chu, I hate you. Zhang Manlin's last hope was shattered. Not only would Qin Chu not protect her, but he would also kick her when she was down. There's one more thing that we've verified. Li said. What is it? Tonight, Ms. Zhang said that President Hu tried to kill her and came to her room to strangle her. At that time, President Hu had a witness. Just now, a reporter took a picture of President Hu and the head of Angel Charity, Mr. Cui Zhenwu, drinking tea and having supper at the Hilton Hotel. So, the witness didn't come at all. This Ms. Zhang is full of nonsense. Then the officer looked at Zhang Manlin with disdain. He felt that he and his colleagues had been tortured by a lunatic in the middle of the night for so long. They were even scolded by the director. How could this be? No, don't believe them. They're putting on an act. I saw it with my own eyes. Zhang Manlin corrected. Miss Zhang, please pay attention to your words. You're just a commoner without any status or status. Why would these big shots put on an act for you? Also, I think you're not only mentally ill but also paranoid. Let's go, we're done for the day. How unlucky. I was tricked by a mentally ill person in the middle of the night and even got scolded by the director. After saying that, the two young policemen turned around and left. Don't go. Listen to me. Zhang Manlin tried to make one last struggle. Zhang Manlin, you're really something. I can't believe you told the police that I raped you. You even wrote and directed a story about how you were almost strangled to death. You're really mentally unstable. At this moment, even Zhang Shubao wanted to despise Zhang Manlin. What is a country bumpkin like you know? It's complicated. Zhang Manlin roared. No matter how complicated it is, it's not as complicated as your heart. I'm just confused. You were born in the countryside, right? How can you be so calculative? You're always talking about this and that. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Do you think those big shots care about you? Whether it's President Huo or President Qin, are they people you can compare to? Zhang Shubao asked with disdain. I'll definitely get my revenge. I won't let them go. I'll kill them all. Zhang Manlin sat on the hospital bed and screamed. Chapter 2844. Look at you now, who can you kill? I don't think I'm a heartless man. Since I slept with you, I want to be responsible for you. Even if you don't have a pretty face, I don't mind. If you're willing, you can resign and come with me. We'll go back to our hometown. I'll take the money President Qin gave us and sell my house. We'll go back to the foot of the mountain and build a 3-story bungalow. Then we'll live like our parents. What do you think? Zhang Shubao had never been in a relationship before, so he had been thinking about Zhang Manlin ever since he met her. Even if his buddies told him that Zhang Manlin was a scheming bitch and wasn't suitable for him, he still wouldn't give up. So in the middle of the night he secretly came to see her. After seeing Zhang Manlin's miserable state, he couldn't bear to see her like this. So he said what he just said. The truth was, Zhang Shubao didn't mind Zhang Manlin's situation at all. He wanted to take her back to his hometown and live a peaceful life. He had done everything he could. If it were any other girl, they would probably be moved to tears. Unfortunately, Zhang Manlin wasn't like any other girl. She had always thought that she wasn't an ordinary person. She always wanted to live in the upper class. To be honest, she was jealous of Huamin. He drove a sports car worth millions at such a young age. He lived in a mansion worth more than 400 million yuan, had a bunch of maids and didn't have to do anything himself. She was also respected at South Side. Most importantly, she had such an outstanding man who loved her deeply. So she had always wanted to replace Huamin. In the past, Huasiqian asked her to imitate Huamin, but she just did it mechanically. It wasn't until later, when she saw Huamin in person, that she was even more stimulated. He wanted everything about Huamin. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out the way she wanted. Not only did her wishful dreams not come true, but she also didn't. Furthermore, he had implicated her and made her look neither human nor ghost. Go with you? Pa, dream on. I'd rather die than go back with you. Don't pretend to be a good person here. You're just a disgusting rapist. In my eyes, you're just an idiot. How can you compare yourself to the man in my heart? Zhang Manlin sneered. Who's the real idiot here? You know best in your heart. Since that's the case, I won't say much. You're on your own now. With that, Zhang Shubao turned around. Zhang Manlin picked up the bag of fruits he bought and threw it at him. Take away your cheap goods and don't ever let me see you again, country bumpkin. Zhang Manlin threatened. At this moment, Zhang Shubao only felt that he was really cheap to the extreme. Why would he like such a vicious woman? In a certain nightclub in Sea City, inside the Emperor private room, a group of men and women were dancing and singing, but some people felt particularly lonely in such an atmosphere. Shin Mingxi was one of them. Young Master Shin, have a drink. During this time, many long-legged models came over to flatter him, but Shin Mingxi drove them all away. No, I want to drink by myself. Shin Mingxi was already slightly tipsy. Just then, a rich young master walked over with his phone and put his arm around Shin Mingxi's shoulder. Young Master Shin, look. Your woman spent the night at that perverted lawyer's house again. She went in an hour ago and turned off the lights. It seems like she doesn't want to come out. It has nothing to do with me. We've already broken up. Shin Mingxi's heart ached when he said this. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxiao Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.